The president floated the number of 80% as being something he might be comfortable with earlier in the day on social media. But then we heard from the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, in the briefing this afternoon, who I wouldn't say walked that back, but kind of said, well, that's just a number he's putting out there. Here's what she said.
The president still remains with his position that he is not going to unilaterally bring down tariffs on China. We need to see concessions from them as well. And again, that's part of the reason that Secretary Bessent is going to talk to his Chinese counterparts this weekend to start those discussions in person. As for the 80% number, that was a number the president threw out there, and we'll see what happens this weekend.
And we don't have any updates yet on Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's visit to Switzerland to meet with the Chinese delegation. But we do have an update I can give you on his meeting with the Swiss delegation. The Treasury Secretary is on the ground, and along with Jamieson Greer, the trade advisor here, the USTR here, they're saying both sides agreed to accelerate negotiations on reciprocal trade, that is the United States and Switzerland. USTR looks forward to continuing our negotiations over the next several weeks. So some progress, I guess, in terms of meeting with the Swiss. We'll see about progress in terms of meeting with the Chinese. And one more item for you, Melissa. The president has just called the press pool into the Oval Office. He was expected to sign a couple of executive orders. That was going to be closed press. Now it's open, so we may be hearing from the president here over the next couple of minutes. Back to you.
All right, you better get going. Eamon, thank you.
Right.
Eamon Javers at the White House. He floated 80% on Truth Social. The Wall Street Journal had a report saying 60%, even beyond that. NEC Director Kevin Hassett has said 24 deals are close to resolution. Where are we? How are we set up?
Well, we're calling these de-escalation talks, so that tells you where we are. We're not necessarily even calling them trade talks, but I'm not sure. It was an important week to speak to the obvious in terms of trade frameworks. Okay. A Fed that we got a little more direction on. I think the things that we're getting from Washington right now, I continue to believe it's time to maybe have a little more tough talk with the toughest of the trade adversaries here. This really was always about China. So for them to come in soft here, why would they? I expect the rhetoric to be aggressive. What's fascinating about this round of chats with China, because even over the years when we've accused China of currency manipulation and all the other things, China's never really pushed back verbally in the global press. And I think China has definitely been, as to me, acerbic back to the U.S., if not more so in terms of their tone than I remember hearing out of China. What does that mean? Who knows if it means anything? But I don't think the White House is going to back down here.